name is Secret City T.
I am Charlotte P, Behavior Specialist at Hamady Middle High School.
And welcome to
Lesse and Les in the morning.
So today's subject, we're going to be talking about bullying, harassment, intimidation, and retaliation.
Because it is October and it is National Bullying Awareness Month.
Okay, so bullying in school, did people know? I don't think people know that bullying is illegal.
No, I don't think they know it.
So bullying people, especially in school, is illegal. And so we want to address that today. That happens a lot in all kind of forms.
Yeah, every day, literally.
So what are some of the forms of bullying that you encounter as a behavior specialist here?
Cyberbullying is one of the biggest ones I encounter. And I think it's so huge because most students don't know that it is a form of bullying. They think, I'm on the internet, I'm not talking to them to their face. I'm not saying it to their face, but that's more harmful than sometimes saying it to their face.
Right, because so many people see it, especially if you got like, we good? Oh, okay. She was looking at us like we weren't going on live. Especially, so they got so many friends and they all interconnected or connected to different schools, and people around the community. So cyberbullying is huge.
Yeah, because it literally only takes like a minute and thousands of people can see what's going on.
We have students that bully staff as well. I've seen pictures where they use side-by-side.
Yeah.
That nature. It's not really, it's not cool.
No. And I think they think it's just, funny or just I'm just joking. But I mean, all of us have feelings and adults hurt too. Stuff hurt our feelings too.
Absolutely. So what about the bullying? So those are bullies that don't cause any physical harm, but it causes psychological harm.
Yeah.
Which is just as bad. I know
if not worse.
If not worse. I know statistically our kids, a lot of people, not just kids, but people commit suicide.
Absolutely. Some students don't even want to come back to school from the weekend of stuff like that. So
I got a question. So how do we handle psychological bullying? Because that's kind of what it is in that city.
Yeah. So when they come to my office and stuff like that has happened, or if a student that has been bullied comes to my office, I immediately go get a social worker.
Right.
Only because some stuff is out of my jurisdiction, but I want them to get the help that they need.
Absolutely. And so how serious do we take psychological bullying here at Westwood High?
Extremely serious. I'm saying suspend you, the person that did it, but the person that it gets done to, I want to make sure that they get help, because while you did it, you posted it, it's over for you. They're living with this stuff for days, weeks, sometimes years. So.
Wow. So what about physical bullying? People who actually threaten physical harm to each other, students and maybe staff, how do we handle those situations?
Again, I'm suspending you immediately, but I'm also wanting to know, like, why are you doing this? Some students bully other students because they get bullied at home. Some parents bully kids and they're not even aware that they're bullying their child. So when they come to school, they take it out on their peers because that's what they're getting done to them at home.
So for years, Mr. Kids always said that is the elephant in the room. Our kids being bullied at home, whether it be by parents, whether it be by family members, aunties, uncles, cousins, siblings. And so they come to school and bully others because that's part of their environment.
It's actually normal to them. So they think they're just being normal. If something happens to you every day, it becomes the norm to you. So when you do it to other people, you literally think nothing of it.
And I bet you those people don't even look at it as a form of bullying, right?
No.
I know I grew up, we would blaze on each other and talk about each other. And sometimes those things go too far.
Yeah.
It become mean-spirited, right? And so it goes too far. And so now it kind of spills over to the educational realm, and it's something that we gotta deal with.
Yeah.
And I know, parents teach what you can't say something nice, you shouldn't say it at all. Absolutely.
But if it's coming from someone that says mean stuff, then it's going in one ear out the other.
Right. Well, so I know that when kids get bullied, they make excuses not to come to school, not to go to that particular class. Have you ran into that situation?
I have. I bring everybody together in my office. I mean, sometimes I have like 10 people in there. I know it's a lot, but I need to get to the root of the problem. And 10 times out of 10, the student that's doing the bullying gets bullied somewhere. So again, they think it's normal.
So what do you think that parents ought to do to try to help their children, to talk to their children if they're seeing any behaviors at home? I know that if a kid has always got a stomach ache and he don't want to go to school, or if a kid don't want to go to a particular class, you know, what should parents do to help their child? Communicate
with your child. And children need to communicate with their parents as well, because as a parent, my mom always used to tell us we didn't get a instruction book when we became parents. So if you're doing something to me as a child and I don't never address it respectfully, I don't know. I think it's normal. But then again, some stuff is like generational. Like grandparents talk to your parents that way, so you talk to your child that way. And then if we don't stop the cycle, it'll continue to go on. And we'll never get rid of this bullying problem.
For sure. I do know this. It is better to be proactive than reactive, because parents are very concerned about their students. And so when something happens to them, like bullying, harassment, intimidation, or retaliation at school, then they want to come and lash out. But if you will call us.
Yeah, sometimes we don't know.
Right. We have no idea.
Yeah.
Right, that kids are being bullied, because it could be something that's really subtle.
Yeah.
And it could be something like, you heard what I told you, you better make sure you bring our lunch money or something. And kids don't want to they don't want to snitch. And
my God.
You know, and then we got people that encourage that. Don't be coming here telling everybody, don't be, we want you to tell, because we are, we want to be a safe environment.
And we can't help if we don't know.
Kids ought to be able to come to school and be free to learn, right? I'm really huge into that. Be free to learn, to share ideas, to, wrangle, if you will, about different philosophies and different learning styles, be able to challenge things. And they got to be free to come to school without the fear of being bullied, harassed, or intimidated.
Yeah.
So what do we, because some parents, they feel like their child is being bullied, but it's not bullying. So when you run into that, how do you explain what bullying is to parents or legal guardians?
I just give them the facts. That's the best way I know how to. A lot of times, some kids will throw a rock and hide their hand. So then I'll let the parent know, well, did they tell you that they did X, Y, and Z? So you can't expect for someone else to get punished if you initiated whatever's going on.
Absolutely. So one of the things that defines bullying is something that's repeatedly done, because we can have an incident happen and it was just one time and parents get upset. My child is being bullied. That's not bullying.
Yeah.
It's an incident. It could be a problem.
Yeah.
But when we define the term bullying, is it a pattern of behavior where your kid is being threatened, psychologically intimidated, whatever the situation, there has to be a pattern there to define it as bullying, because we take bullying very, very seriously.
Very serious.
And we want every child to come here, every young student, to make sure that they don't have to go through that process, because kids retaliate. They feel like they're not going to get any help.
Yeah.
Then things happen in buildings and in the streets.
Parents get involved.
Yes.
We have no clue sometimes. And if we do have a clue, please believe that we are taking it serious. I do not like bullies at all. I don't like to use the word hate, but I don't like them.
I really don't care for them, because usually a bully is somebody who has power over another. Right? And I know that we tell our students all the time, use your powers for good and not evil.
Absolutely.
Right? If you got the power over a person that's weaker than you or not smart as you, or that you consider not as pretty as you, do the mean girl thing. Mean girls are mean. Woo! Mean girls can be so mean.
I always tell my girls, like, you could be the prettiest girl in the world, but if your spirit is evil or you're mean, you are so ugly.
Right. It can turn into that.
Yeah.
And then our boys, they do boy stuff, right? It's always
I was just playing.
Right. I'll just push them around and putting their hands on each other. And we encourage young people, please keep your hands
to yourself.
to yourself.
I tell girls, Daddies love their daughters and mothers love their sons. Young ladies, keep your hands to yourself because girls can bully boys too.
Really, I agree. I see that a lot of times girls, for whatever reason, feel like this is okay for me to hit this boy.
But if he hit me back.
And it's against cultural norms. And we don't promote boys hitting girls back. But I tell you what, it's a different world. Boys hit girls back now.
Yeah.
I mean, hard.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
But that's what's being taught. I had a parent tell me one time that her son beat up this girl. I mean, he beat her up. Now, he didn't start it. He waited for her. Like, he just sit back and waited for her. And she hit him and he beat her up. And I asked the mom, I said, he hit her. She said, Mr. Key, if she step up like a man, she shouldn't get treated like a man.
Yeah, and I let people know too, like I don't know what goes on at your household, just like you don't know what goes on at my house.
Right.
I may see boys hitting girls. So I think it's, again, normal. You may have been grew up, don't hit girls. But I don't know what goes on at your house.
Right.
I can't assume.
That statement made me clutch my pearls.
Yes.
Right. If she step up like a man, she should get treated like one. No, I don't necessarily agree with that.
No.
Young ladies, please don't put young men in positions where they feel like they got to defend themselves because you feel like you should be able to assault them.
Yeah, and parents, talk to your daughters. I had an incident last year, to be honest. I had a parent come in. Her son was getting bullied by a girl. And I watched the camera and baby, yes.
She was.
Yes, she was bullying him every day. I mean, I watched days. Yes. Because he knew exactly where it was, the time. She would walk up to him, hit him every day. And I watched it.
And we know the old school, right? If I hit you because I like you or something. Mm-hmm. But it's a different world.
It's a different world.
Hitting on each other.
The fact that the mom came in and was that concerned, that means her son went home and told her.
Right. So let's deal with harassment. So we dealt with bullying. Mm-hmm. Let's deal with harassment. So we can define harassment as anything that makes a young person feel uncomfortable. You trying to, I guess, make them do something that they don't want to do, or you always bring in some type of negative attention to them. So how do you handle harassment in the building?
I have a conversation first. Again, I feel like when somebody does something, there's always a reason behind it. Not saying that I'm agree with the reason or I like the reason, but I just need to know why. For instance, some girl will call a boy like, with your ugly self, like you really harassing him, keep calling him ugly and he not bothering you. Call him by his name, because that could turn into something else.
Right. And there's all kind of definitions with harassment. We won't kind of go through all of them. We got one that's always blaring, but young people, you have to realize that if it's not mutual, then it's not acceptable.
Absolutely.
And then it has to be appropriate, right? Age appropriate and things of that nature. So make sure that if you're not sure, please talk to your parents.
Yeah.
Talk to a counselor. We have plenty of people. Talk to you. We got male behavior people. We got male counselors and social workers to make sure that what we're doing is right. But anytime you feel like you're being harassed, then you should talk to somebody or let somebody know.
Yeah, even if it's a question, talk to them.
Absolutely. What about intimidation? So we dealt with bullying, harassment, now intimidation. How we handle that in the building?
So here, let's I kicked the instigator out for more days than I kicked the fighters out for. Because I feel like if you weren't being intimidating or you weren't egging it on, it probably could have got solved a different way. Yes. So intimidation is huge. Because some kids have low self-esteem and can easily be intimidated.
Right.
Or some kids want to fit in and they can easily be intimidated.
I remember last year we dealt with one of your popular kids. He was an athlete. Everybody loved him, but he, I guess they was doing some little joke where they was hitting on people or something. And I asked him, I said, what if they did that to you?
Correct.
And he was like, oh, they're going to get these hands. And I'm thinking, but wait.
You're encouraging.
It's okay for you to do it, but it's not okay for them to do it.
Exactly.
But, like you said earlier, I was just playing. And
everything's not a joke.
Everything is not a joke. So bullying, harassment, intimidation, and then retaliation. That is huge.
That's huge.
How do we handle retaliation?
We got to involve other parties for that one, because just because we both go here, somebody that don't go here may retaliate.
Mm-hmm. and those who retaliate in the building, right? So we have people that would tell us things and they won't tell us, or they won't reveal it to us because they're afraid
that they're going to get retaliated against.
And listen, you cannot retaliate. That is against the law. We cannot even retaliate.
Correct.
Right? If something happens, we have to be respectful enough. We can't retaliate against students or staff. And it's the same way around. Staff should not be retaliating against students. Students shouldn't retaliate against each other. So we just want to make that clear. We got to wrap this up. We got to wrap this up. We was having a great conversation. So remember, Lesse and Les in the morning, we're talking about bullying, harassment, intimidation, and retaliation. It is against the law. And so if any of those things happen, we admonish you to visit Miss Pete along with the other behavior specialists, social workers, staff members, and or administration.
Yes. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you watching.
Thank you guys so much. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.